On this week's show, if you had just £5,000 to invest, what should you do with it?
In the news, we're going to be talking about the eviction ban getting extended.
And we're going to be answering all your property-related questions.
Welcome to the Property Investors Podcast. Thanks so much for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe so you never miss an upload. You can catch us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. Enjoy this week's show and don't forget to share it with all your friends.
Hey, I'm Russell Leeds.
Hey, I'm Alistair Cunningham.
And welcome to the Property Investors Podcast. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm good.
Good. Have you got, a lot of people moan that we chit-chat about stupid stuff like fasts and stuff, so I'm going to ask you a property-related how's your week been question. Tell me about one of the deals that you've sold this week.
Okay, a couple of deals we sold last week. We had one that followed Samuel's business model of buy low, rent high.
Only one?
Yeah, this is one particular
deal.
The
other ones didn't. The others were buy really high, rent low.
No, they went a buy low, rent high in the sense of if you've read the book, you'll understand what I mean.
Okay.
So buy low with a property that's in really good condition or in good enough condition to just let out.
Were you about to go for a little fake? You were going to go buy low with a property manager nearby. You realised you forgot the rent high, so you shifted out of it. Most people over there.
Right. Buy low, £50,000 for this property. It's worth 65. Okay. It's going to rent out for $450 to $475 a month, and the guy that's bought it has bought it in cash just so he can get a return on his investment. He's going to plough his money into the deal, get a nice little rental income every month, probably make £300-400 or $350 a month from it after all the costs, etc., etc. And he's going to get a nice little interest on that money every single year. Now he's buying cash outright, so that's fine. But if you were to use the exact Samuel method of using a mortgage, then you could do that deal for getting like £12,500 into that deal would get you that deal. Give you a nice little return on investment.
It's not bad, is it?
It's a great deal.
We'll push your legals and things. What do you reckon if you had, say,
15k? Yeah, all your legals and stuff. Yeah, it'd be a great little deal. And it'll give you a nice little return on investment. Now, it's not going to make you a millionaire from doing that deal, but it's a great little deal to get you started.
You've got stock though, haven't you? So
yeah.
You bring in a bit of money, like you said, 20% ROI. Now you're on. For someone that's getting started, you're on the ladder. You've got. So very similar to my first deal, actually.
Yeah, the one in Warsaw.
Yeah, very, very. In terms of, I think we paid a bit more. It's more like I can't remember the figures now, but it's more like about 80, but a similar type deal. But yeah, that's a good deal.
Get you on the deal. Thing is with this little 50 grand deal, the guy that's buying it actually wants to do bigger stuff like HMOs and things like that. But the problem is, as a first time borrower, you're not going to get a HMO mortgage. So he needs to go down the single let route first to get landlord experience. He'll do that for a year and then he'll refinance it. So in a year's time, he'll put a mortgage on that property, hopefully get it near its truer value of £60,000 to £65,000, get most of his money back, and then he can just reinvest that into HMOs. With landlord experience, he'll have a broader range of mortgages available to him because he's now got landlord experience. And it's just his first step on the ladder, and I'm helping him do that. So great stuff. What about yourself? What have you been up to?
Property-wise?
Or anything.
Property-wise, obviously, bits and pieces. Nothing too exciting. Nothing groundbreaking enough to discuss. I know that we only talk about really important groundbreaking stuff at the beginning of these podcasts. So
well, we need to keep it super seriously because we do get complaints that we're not serious enough.
Obviously, like we talked about fasting last week. So I'm trying to convince you to do it. You should do it.
I will do it.
When your hair transplant.
I'll do it I will do it.
Do it when you have your hair. So you bald. You can lock yourself away for 3 days. I'm going to do 3 days.
To be honest, like this whole getting my hair transplant, the only thing that puts me off, do you know what it is?
The operation.
Being bald, actually shaving my head off. Shaving my hair off.
So just
that's the only thing.
Shaving your head off. That would be better. Maybe we can arrange that. No, but so they shave it off and it grows back naturally.
Yeah. So they shave it all off and then they use a little machine and they take a hair follicle out of the back. And they implant it where you need hair in the top. So they use a machine. Go onto YouTube and look at FUE hair transplant. You see it.
Totally bald.
Yeah.
Totally bald. No hair follicles anywhere. Do they take it off your chest or in your case your ass or something?
Oh my god, can you imagine that? I wouldn't want...
It's like ass hair growing. You got pubes growing on your head.
Oh for God's sake.
That's kind of what you got here at the front anyway though, to be fair. So it wouldn't look much different.
I wouldn't know, I'm not a hair transplant doctor, so I couldn't advise that.
And does it grow back forever? That's it, there you got hair?
Then they've now installed hair follicles into the places that
When do you
your hair
think you
follicles
do?
have died. I mean, I don't know. I'm not a doctor. All I know is I've got the consultation, and I'm going to go, and he's going to say it's going to cost you X, and I'm going to say, okay, let's do it or not do it. I don't need to worry about the ins and outs of what happens. Like when I switch a light on at the wall, I don't need to know how it works to turn that light on. All I need to know is that if I push that switch, the light turns on. That's all I need to know. Now I do know because I'm technically minded, but I don't know about hair because I'm not a hair doctor.
It's actually a good lesson in that though, because a lot of people when they come to us and they're like, oh, how do I get started in this? How do I get started in that? It's like, oh, hold on, before I do any action, I need to learn this, that. And you're saying,
Do you know, it does. You raise a very good point. Samuel, love him or hate him, right? A lot of people love him, but he does have his people out there that don't particularly like him. And some of these people, their criticism is, well, he doesn't know this, he doesn't know that. What difference does it make? Because he knows how to be a property investor. He knows how to generate income. He knows how to generate rents. He doesn't have to know exactly how to build that house or exactly how to fix that wall. But everyone thinks that you've got to be an expert on everything. And it's a case in point, you don't. You just have to know who to speak to and how to get that job done.
Yeah. And often you'll figure it out as you go.
Yeah.
Like you'll do. I know this is a stupid example, like getting a hair transplant. It's not like you're investing loads of money, but, well, actually, maybe. But it's like, all right, all I need to do now, step one, is I need just to go to the appointment.
Consultation.
I'm not thinking, well, what is the hair, which bit do I need to pull the hair out of?
No.
What's the after treatment? I want to get a hair transplant, I want to get on the property ladder. Right, step one, I've got to do viewings, I've got to learn to find good deals.
Yeah.
I'll worry about step two once I've got
Yeah.
step one. And then when you do step one, you've got a new problem.
Yeah.
A new problem. Anyway, there you go. There's a little golden nugget from
It's
outside.
very true, mate. It's
It's
true. Stop taking yourself out of the game because you're thinking about what if this happens when you've found this. No, book the viewing, go for step one. Once you've done step one, then do step two, then do step three, then do step four. And then when you get to step four, like what a great problem to have. Like it's a great problem to have, I think.
Okay, right, here's the question then.
Go on.
You've got 5k to invest.
Yeah.
You are you,
Yeah.
so you don't need to spend any money on training
Right.
because you've already done the training.
Okay.
5k to invest, I've got 5k to invest. We'll both say what we would do,
Okay.
and then we'll ridicule the other one as to why
Okay.
their idea is stupid, unless of course it's the same.
Okay.
Okay, so 5k.
First thing I'd do
Yeah.
is I would agree a joint venture with you and now I've got 10k.
Okay, there you go.
That's what I would do. And then I've got 10k. And I would rather have
So if you have
50%, I would rather have 50% of a bigger organisation than 100% of a small organisation. 10k could go further. So I would do, me and you, I'd JV with you, 10k.
Alright, okay.
At the minute,
just start again. I like you creative out the box thinking, right? But obviously, people reading this that have only got 5k. So you've only got 5k. You come and approach me for a joint venture.
Yeah.
I've also got 5k,
Yeah.
and I say stuff you out of stare. I want to beat you. I don't want to join you.
Alright, then for me it's deal sourcing.
5k.
No, there's no question. I would use that to go out and find good deals and use that to market myself, market my list, build my list of investors, go out, find some deals. You do that, you use that 5k wisely. You could build yourself a list of investors, you could get yourself loads of viewings, you could even potentially, you could generate that 5k.
So what are you using the 5k for? You said deal selling.
The 5k,
I mean, deal selling doesn't really need much money.
it doesn't need much money, but that 5k, like...
That's just like saying I'd use the 5k to get a job.
No, I know that. Okay, so 5k, right, you're going to have expenses. A lot of people, do you know, this is true. I get people message me all the time. They've got a little amount of money, they want to get started, and they all opt to deal sourcing first. And then they're like, yeah, but I'm like, well, how much have you got? And they'll say, I've got a couple of grand. And I'm like, great, use that towards going out and looking at deals because it costs money. Because if you live in the south and you've got...
I agree with that.
Okay, so fine. Okay, so let me ask you this question then.
Go on.
Right, okay, so you live in the south.
Right.
Right, majority of the deals that you're going to deal source are Midlands and upwards. Okay,
Why?
so because they are. Now, I'm not saying you. Okay, because the majority of the. Okay, fine. Because down south they're more expensive, so the return on investment's lower. It doesn't mean people aren't going to buy them, but the majority of the deals that you're going to look at are Midlands and up north. Majority, okay, 90%.
Yeah.
Now,
Just say why
what
disagree with it.
I don't care why you disagree
Okay,
with that.
okay.
Right. So if you live down south, you cannot by thin air get up north. Even if it's a train ticket, that's still probably 70 or 80 quid. And then you've got to stay away, so you're talking now another 70 or 80 pounds a night. So realistically, to go out and do a week's worth of viewings, you're talking maybe £400 or £500 in costs. like realistically, because you're going to want to stay up there, you're going to need to stay up there, you're going to need transport to and from. So there is costs to doing deal sourcing.
Okay, I'll tell you why I disagree with you.
Okay, go on.
So, if you've got £5,000, that's it.
Yeah.
For me, £5,000, that goes in my financial freedom account. That's to my investment money.
Mm-hmm.
I'll find the little bits and pieces to travel somewhere, stay in a hotel. I'll just pay that out of my normal money.
But if you only had five, you said, okay.
Yeah, but I'm assuming that you've got.
Okay,
I'm
so
assuming
is
this
this
person's got
question,
£5,000 in savings. And
that's
they've got a
that's
job.
an assumption. You said you
No,
got 5k.
I'm asking you if you had 5k to invest. You do have a job.
Fine, alright, fine. If I had 5k pure free money, I would probably loan that to somebody to go and do rent to rent, SAs or HMOs, and I would just get a return on that. Because 5k for me is not enough money to go and do buy refurb finance.
No, obviously it's not.
So I would just give it away to an academy member and get 20-25% ROI.
So you would what? You JV with someone?
JV with somebody, I'd lend it to somebody on a JV arrangement and they could maybe fund the rent to rent with that.
So you're starting from scratch. You've got your property knowledge, but you haven't got any deals or anything. You go straight into a JV.
But you've changed the question, because the question at the start was I'm me, so I'm not starting from scratch.
Is it just me, or is he being very, very difficult? Listen,
I'm not being difficult.
I'm saying that you're someone who's got 5k to invest. You're obviously, you, but you're giving advice here to people that are listening that obviously aren't you, but they're probably normal people.
Right.
Probably got a job. Probably got, do you know what I mean?
Fine. I've got a job.
Right, you got a job.
Somebody said, hey, there's £5,000, go and invest it.
Yeah.
So the £5,000 is not going to be for any expenses to find that deal, even though you do need money to find deals.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, so it's purely for investment purposes.
Yeah. This is like pulling teeth. This is like pulling
what
hair
would I do with
follicles.
£5,000? What would I do with £5,000?
Yeah.
I probably would put it into like a rent-to-rent HMO.
Do you do rent-to-rent HMO?
I would do rent-to-rent HMO in a really good area.
Like
London, Reading, some of a really good area where you can get £700 or £800 per room, but I'd do it in a large HMO, like an 8, 9, 10 bedroom. Like I know some people that are doing rent-to-rents they're paying the landlords like £3,000 a month, but they're making £6,000 a month income, and by the time they pay all the costs, they're still making £1,500 a month.
Yeah.
So that's
and then with the £1,500 a month, would you save it for a couple of months, get another
save
one?
it and then get another one. Yeah.
So you build a rent-to-rent HMO business.
I would build a rent-to-rent HMO business in a really good area.
Okay.
Because that's £5,000 enough to get one. It's enough to get one in a really good area. You'd have to be very good at negotiating, but listen, I've done the training. I know how to negotiate. So
yeah. Okay.
What would you do?
If I'm starting again, I've got a job.
You've got a job.
Right,
so the same criteria as you asked me.
Here's a
however confusing you made it. Okay.
It is okay. I didn't make it confusing.
You did.
So I would probably. Do you know? I'd probably do the same thing.
Yeah, it's the only logical step. What else are you going to do with 5k?
You could go for looking for lease options.
Yeah, but
So it's basically a rent to rent, but with an option to buy at the end.
Yeah.
Which I would also be on the lookout for. I'd look up for both.
But
I'd be happy to take
what would
either.
you use the 5k for then?
5k for deposit.
Deposit or legals, for instance.
Or legals, or
Yeah.
furniture, and little bits and pieces like that.
Well, furniture you would lease. You wouldn't. It's not tax efficient to buy it anyway, so you would lease it if you're going to do it as tax efficiently as possible. I mean, you can buy it, and a lot of people do, but leasing is probably the better way.
Would you lease paint?
No, that's difficult. However, you can put refurbishments on lease payments, so you can do that. Yeah.
Technically, you could.
You could actually
Lease some paint.
No, you could lease the costing of the lease purchase, the cost of the refurb. I know finance people that will do that. So,
What about then? You've got £5,000.
Yeah.
No training.
no training?
You can't. What would you do then?
No question. Get trained.
On what? Which training would you
Probably rent to rent, to go down the rent to rent HMO route, because you could put a couple of grand into the rent to rent training and leave you £3,000 to do a rent to get your first rent to rent
I
deal.
think it'd still be good to go.
Still be good. I think £5,000 is still a good number to getting started. I got started in property with like I can't remember exactly the amount, but it was between like £4,500 I had available in available funds in cash. That's not including my credit cards. I had credit card money, but I didn't at the time. Back then, I didn't want to use my credit cards, but actually in cash in the bank, I had like £4,500.
So you were actually probably in that situation.
I was, yeah.
And you did use it for training.
I used it for training. I put all of it into training, and I done deal sourcing, and I just used.
But you did deal sourcing and lease options. You did everything.
Yeah, I started with deal sourcing, but when I was deal sourcing, the deals that I found that I managed to negotiate into lease options I kept for myself. Because I started off doing the deal finding extravaganza, then I done the academy. So the deal finding extravaganza taught me how to find deals. I was out finding deals, then I secured some good deals, and then I thought, no, I need more training. So then I joined the academy. That's how I done it. But I had £4,500 and I put it into training. I would say if you've got 5k, rent HMO. That's
a good idea. Makes sense. Right, it's now time for this. In the news this week, the eviction ban has been extended in England and Wales.
Really annoying. Okay, according to BBC, eviction bans in England and Wales are to be extended. Eviction bans in England and Wales have been extended following a similar move in Scotland last week.
Oh, they always start with the Scots, don't they?
The move will mean that eviction notices, which could have started again next Monday, will not be served for another 6 weeks in England and longer in Wales. Current restrictions were due to end, but charities have called on financial support for tenants. Yaddy. In the last month, bailiffs have been unable to serve notices before and enforce evictions in England and Wales, dubbed the Christmas truce. It's just a bit of a pain in the backside, because I know, and I'm not saying this is, of course, pandemic, of course people have had their circumstances changed, and of course people have lost their jobs, and I completely sympathise. But there is a percentage of people that are just using the pandemic as an excuse to take the piss and not pay their rent. There is. I don't care what you say, I don't care who you are, there definitely is. I've got it with me. For instance, I've got 2 tenants at the minute that are both still fully employed, still getting their full-time income, and they're using the pandemic as a reason to not pay their rent. One of them is currently now 6 weeks in arrears, and it's just, he's working every day, but he's using it as an excuse not to pay his rent because he knows we can't evict him. So some of these tenants are just playing the system, and it is completely farcical that they can get away with it. What do you think?
I think so too. I think that if you're going to bring in legislation like that, you should say you can't evict them if they prove they've lost their job, or if they, fair enough.
I mean, my managers are dealing with it, and they will deal with it. But
it's just basically frustrating. It's like saying landlords, like you wouldn't do it over anything else. You wouldn't say supermarkets are not allowed to stop people from stealing as of now, because people have lost their jobs. So if you go and steal from a supermarket, there is nothing they can do. They wouldn't say that. They wouldn't say Sky TV have been told that they're not allowed to cut off the subscriptions for people who've stopped paying it.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
But for some reason, when it comes to
landlords, isn't it?
You could argue, you could say, yeah, but having a home is a basic human right, but so is having food. So or water companies have been. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't happen, does it?
It's the usual, isn't it? Bash the landlord with the baseball bat, and then when you finish bashing him, just ram it up his backside, because all they want to do is batter the landlord, because we're seen as the rich capitalists.
In all fairness, Alistair normally only does that on a Friday night, don't you?
No.
And he pays a lot of money to have that done. See, now you're getting it for free.
My point being is, it's just the usual bashing of landlords, because we're the rich ones, but most landlords, actually, statistically, most landlords own 1 or 2 houses. Most landlords are doing it because they've taken their hard-earned savings and they've invested them into a property, and they're probably not making much profit on a monthly basis. But most landlords are like that. Not all landlords have 10, 15, 20 houses, are millionaires and are rocking around in fancy cars and living the luxury lifestyle. Most of them are working class people that have invested their money hard, and now they're getting the piss taken out of them by tenants who are using the pandemic as an excuse not to pay their rent. And it's farcical. And all that means, guys, is that when this eviction ban ends and the pandemic's over and done with, who are the first tenants to be getting served notice? Because if I've got tenants that are not paying me due to the pandemic and they're not in genuine hardship, they will be getting evicted the minute we can evict them. And I don't care if that means that they don't have somewhere to go. I don't care, because I am not having tenants take the piss out of me when it's just they're playing the system. Don't get me started on the whole benefit system and all that sort of stuff. I think if you're going to play the system, you deserve everything you get. Live by the sword, die by the sword. That's what I've always been taught.
Deserve everything you get. Do you mean all the benefits they get?
No. I mean, all the
If you're going to play the
repercussions.
system, you deserve everything you get. That sounds to me like you're supporting benefits. That sounds to me like you're saying you play the system, you deserve everything you get.
No, it's not what I mean at all.
What
That's
do you
not what I mean at all. It means, listen, I got tenants that are not paying me because of the current situation, and they're using that as an excuse, even though they're still getting full-time income. And if you're watching this, guess what? You're getting evicted as soon as the eviction ban lifts.
In the red corner, we have Mr. Russell Leeds. In the blue corner, we have Alistair Cunningham. Right, here we go. Fingers on the buzzers. Are we ready? Question number 1. Give 3 reasons. Give 3 reasons that could make a property unmortgageable. Alistair.
Not weed, structural issues.
Yeah.
Missing kitchen, missing bathroom,
Yeah.
lease problems, short leases.
Yeah. You said 4 because knotweed and structural issues are 2
things.
separate ones.
So technically he didn't answer the question.
But he did. So
No,
we'll
because you
give
said
him.
name 3, name 4.
Well, I'll give him an extra point then.
No.
Yay! Russell, Alistair, 1.
1-0 to Alistair.
I spelled my name wrong.
Okay,
Can you believe that?
that's better.
Question number 2.
Shameful.
Bridging is commonly used with which... Alistair.
Commonly used with what?
You've got
No.
to give an answer.
Bridging development finance.
No. Buy refurbishment finance.
Russell got the point. The question was, bridging is commonly used with which strategy?
Make sure you immediately stop because you carried on a couple of words.
Alright, so let me... Alistair, what did you learn?
What did I learn? I learned to listen to the question and wait until the question came out before I interrupted.
Yes.
Thank you. Anything else?
Hurry up.
So is that 1 all?
1-0. Question number 3. And this is not going to be a buzzer question, okay? As of right now...
How do we?
Let me finish the question.
Alright.
As of right now, the person closest to this figure will get the correct point. Their point.
Go on.
So as of right now, what is the average house price in the UK to the nearest pound?
Pound.
£208,000, £563.
You said 208.
208, 563.
Okay.
208, 564.
Fine.
I actually think it's more like about 250, but obviously I'm petty.
Okay, the correct answer is
I'm sure.
245,443.
That's gone up, man.
I know.
It was like 210, 215 like a year ago.
Yeah,
That's
Russell
really
got the
good.
point.
Interesting. I'm even learning stuff from this quiz. Who would have thought a quiz that Ricky put together, we're actually learning some information, especially when he threw out numbers.
I know.
That was crucial.
I'm surprised that when we asked him what the actual answer was, I'm surprised he answered us.
He would have normally taken 5 attempts.
Right, I'm just calculating the scores. Let me get my calculator
It's
out.
2-1 to me.
2-1,
Question number 4.
3,
No, it's
4,
4.
4.
Ah. No. What types of properties are commonly used for service accommodation? Alistair.
I pressed it.
Rent-to-rent apartments.
Okay, great.
Yay! Oh, we're down
Perfect.
to the...
Right, final question. This is the deciding question.
It is still working.
It's definitely still working.
It's
You were
still
just
working.
you were just way too slow. Final question. Fingers on the buzzers. Question number 5. When does the stamp duty relief end for resident Russell?
Oh no. Do you know the answer? Do you know the answer?
No.
Okay, you just have to give the month.
Okay.
Just give the month.
Oh man.
We need to have a countdown because he's taking the...
5,
No.
4, 3.
March.
Yeah! 3-2, and your winner for this week in the red corner,
Undefeated.
the undefeated champion, Mr. Russell Leeds.
Well done.
Wow.
Alright.
Right, okay guys, hope you enjoy that. Hope you're playing along at home, you know. We make these podcasts to have a bit of a fun, bit of laugh and all that sort of stuff. So Russell won again this week. He's now 2-0 on a weekly count. I need to buck my ideas up a little bit. But that was a guess, just so you know. And do you know, I know how he guessed that, because he went by the end of the financial year.
No. I wasn't sure if it was March or April. I knew it was early this year, but I couldn't remember if it was March or April. But
Yeah. Anyway, okay, now time for the questions for this week's show. So, as I do every single week, I'll do an Instagram live, and also with Russell, we'll do an Instagram live. Make sure you follow us on Instagram, so it's Alistair_Cunningham.
And Russell at Russell Leeds.
And also, you might as well follow Ricky Mandel as well, because if you want a question, bung it to him as well, and he can pass it on to us. And then Ricky will handle the questions this time.
Right, so it's now time for your questions and our answers. If you want to ask us a question in future, we're both on Instagram, so we'll normally do an Instagram live, and you can DM us a question, and we'll try and get answers as many as we can. So, Ricky, a couple of questions for us this week, please.
Yeah, first question from Jordan. Can you explain Article 4 and how does it work?
Article 4, my friend, is a boundary that the council set out in a given area to restrict the growth and the future development of HMOs. So if you are moving to an area where there's an Article 4 enforced, you cannot make a house into multiple dwellings without permission from the council.
That's pretty much what I was going to say. I was just going to say it means you can't do HMOs there, innit?
Yeah, I was actually really defined with that question.
It literally was like reading the dictionary definition of Article 4. Like, had we prepped this?
Very impressed with that answer.
I'm very impressed. It's a good answer.
Hope that works for you, Jordan. Where are you from, Jordan? Oh, so a question you can't answer, can you? Okay.
It's not live. It's not live.
It's fine. Go. Next.
Question number 2 is from Beth, and Beth has said she's thinking.
Keep going, that battery's going to die. That battery's going to die.
Next question from Beth. Beth has said she's thinking of doing buy, refurb, refinance, but she's worried that the house prices are going to dip over the next year. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, great question there, Beth. It is very much a worry. We talked about this in last week's show, actually, making sure you buy right in the right place for the right price. Obviously, prices are fluid, shall we say. They're very open to change, and they're very they're moving up and down. So you just have to be careful that you buy the right property in the right area. So Beth, you make sure you keep a lookout for the right deals in the right area, and only buy for the right price.
I think the key thing, Beth, is just to remember that if you're going to buy property, there's always a risk, right? But unless you're guaranteed to need the money back, it doesn't really matter. Do you know what I mean? Because if you end up leaving the money in for a couple of extra years, eventually they will go up.
Yeah.
Eventually they will, right? So
Can I just say, Alistair goes, the house prices are open for change. Like, they have a choice.
I don't get it, yeah.
I don't get that, but they are open for change because they move, they change. Listen, newbie, this is your second show. We can soon kick you off. Right,
well, okay. Just taking the mickey out of you, I'm all for that. I just don't quite get the joke. Maybe you guys get the joke at home. But yeah, so I would say, Beth, I understand what you're saying. It is a potential risk. We're both still doing BRRs, but we're not. I think we mentioned this last week. We're not doing it when we need to get the money back. Because if it does dip a little bit, it might be you refinance in a year's time or in 18 months' time. So it is big, but I don't think it's going to fall much.
No, I don't think we're going to worry that much. So anyway, Beth, make sure you keep a lookout, get the right property, the right area, right price, and just make sure you come from a position of you're not a motivated buyer. Be prepared to walk away if the deal doesn't stack. Anyway, guys, hope you found that useful. If you have, give us a thumbs up. Make sure you share the hell out of this, and also make sure you follow us Instagram. Drop your questions in there, and we'll answer them next time. Hope you found this show useful and fun and informative. That is all we want. We want you guys to have fun, learn a little bit, and have a laugh.
You sound like Bryn off. That's the sort of thing Bryn would say.
Bryn from
Gavin and Stacey.
Oh yeah.
You know, I hope you found these podcasts useful. All we want you to do is have fun, have a laugh, and enjoy yourself.
On that note, see you next time.